Hi everyone, it's Keyless Entry. This is part 4 of my Lockwood Padlock series, and today we'll be going through another step of the evolution of the 234 padlock. So I've covered the 234 padlock, so this is sort of like the vintage 234. So as we know, this one opens clockwise, anti-clockwise. Yeah, it's in my playlist. Lockwood Padlock series, if you want to see that one. So the next evolution was the 234/45. So we've still got 45mm body, still brass. We've got a boron steel shackle instead of this hardened, so a lot tougher shackle. The 234/45, these ones only open clockwise, whereas the vintage could open counterclockwise also. These are double ball locking, so we've got ball bearings, so a lot more secure there. These also have a removable core, so a lot easier to change out shackles, to do rekeying, to change the keyway, change plugs, whatever like that, and maintenance and service pretty much. So you can see on these, the plug doesn't, or the keyway doesn't sit at the 12 o'clock position. It sort of sits at the 1, and that is because it's got a 530 kick in there that is sort of offset to one side. All right, I'll talk about that more once I start to take one apart. So we've got some variations here, and I'm just going to separate these out a little bit so it's a little bit more clear. So we've got the first one here. I think this is the latest one, and this came out of the packet here. It's a rating of 6, and it's got acid abloy down here. It does say Australian made, so but doesn't have it on the lock body anymore. I suspect this is one of the last versions. The last version didn't have the Australian made on there. This was around the year 2000 to 2001. So it's got Australian standards, grade 6PS, sorry, SP6. Alright, so then the older ones I think are in here. So you've got the Australian made on the body, and they've still got the kick cylinder or a figure 8 core. That is one piece, and it's offset as well. And then we have, I think, the earliest ones. Same stamping and everything, but the body is a little bit, I wouldn't say taller, but it's got a little bit more extra meat on the bottom. As you can see, between the bottom of the padlock and the stamping, there's a little bit more room, and that is because these have a bit of a recessed core. So the actual padlock is got more meat on the bottom, so the core sits in there a little bit more recessed. See, I think these were the early ones, and these are the ones, don't know the years actually, might have been 80s, 90s, and sort of 2000, I guess. But I know there was a lot of overlap with models. It's not like cars where you have a model for 3-4 years and then it gets replaced by the next model. Yeah, it's a little bit different with locks, I think. Alrighty, so let's take one of these apart. So the main differences internally are just the core itself. So either you have a kick or you will have a cylinder with an adapter. So let's take apart one of each. Alright, I don't need that one. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is these were available in a lot more different keyways too. So you had your standard Lockwood C4, the most common. So when you buy them out of the pack, they always C4. Then you can go to your locksmith and say, I want a restricted system or be part of one. Then you had your restricted A to F. This is a BD. They also came available in the J series, which is not Lockwood, but they were closely tied with Lockwood. This one's actually a JB. They came in status 6, Lockwood status 6. This one's an LP, and it even came in Gen 6 and Gen 6T. This one's a B13 nasty keyway. So probably the two nastiest ones are the Status 6 and the Gen 6, as you can see there. Very nasty keyways. Alright, so they also, you can also put different keyways in there, like all different systems like bilock. I've seen multi-locks in them, all different things, all different types. It just has to have the 530 rear on there or an adapter. Alright, enough jibber jabber, let's take one of each apart. Okay, there we go. So they all have the same actuator, they all work on the same principle, same everything. It's just that one has a kick cylinder like this one does. There we go, so it's got a kick cylinder like this, and these are known as a 530 cylinder. There's also a 570, but that didn't come until the 234B, that series, and then the 334B. So these are these little posts on the back, they interact with the actuator. So let me take this one apart totally. So close it up. We've got the actuator assembly, shackle, ball bearings, and spring. There we go. So all brass there. So we've got a drain hole there, down the shackle hole with the screw in it, and we've got one on the bottom for where the spring sits. That's the longer side of the shackle. Not much to talk about really, just the really nice padlock body. Okay, so this adapter actually sits on the side of the kick cylinder. As you can see, it doesn't cover up the kick cylinder like it does in the 234B and then the 334B. Actually sits to one side, that's why it's offset at that 1 o'clock position. Alright, let's gut this one here and show you the pins. And the pins are the same in this one too. So I'll just show you the figure 8 cylinder and how that looks. So that's the figure 8 cylinder there. So it doesn't have an adapter or anything like that, it just slips straight in. As I say, oh, that little pin there sticking out. There we go, so that just slips straight in there like that. But the kick one needs an adapter because you have all that room on top. So there we go, that's an adapter, that's hardened steel, quite heavy. Alright, let's just put the ball bearings here, spring, the actuator, shackle, body. Alright, let's open the kick up. Alright, let's get this clip off. It won't be too bad. Some of these are a pain on the 530. Oh, yeah, they just want to flick off, like they'll go flying. Alright, okay, key. Which one was this? The LP? Yep. Oh, this one's actually got, this one's got the lab pins because I only did this one recently. I didn't put the original, so let's do this one here. I know this one's got the original pins. And this one's a little bit more interesting because it's not the typical 530. Alright, so we've got a little pin here that retains the core and also controls the rotation, as you can see there. And we do have inspection holes on the bottom, or you can use them for changing your key. Alright, let's get this clip off then. Yeah, this one might be a little bit harder. Let's spin him around a bit more. Yep, almost had him. Oh, come on, buddy. There we go. I'm going to hook him off. All right. Follow. Don't really need a shim for these. Okay, so these come pinned to 5 from factory, but this one's on a 6-pin key. So they've got nickel silver key pins, and the taper on them is not as radical as the ones in the vintage 234. This one here, it's got a bit less of a taper. Still effective when trying to pick them, but nowhere near as crazy. So you can see the plug here. It's got room here for some drill protection. That's not populated, and that's how the back of a 530 looks. You can see on the kick also. Alright, let's get these top pins out. And I think the top pins come in 5 lengths, or the drivers come in 5 different lengths, because they are pretty well balanced in the figure 8 and also the kick cylinder. Oh, there goes one now. See, this cylinder is offset, and I just went straight to the 12 o'clock position. It's a very strange combination. I think the only one that Lockwood makes in the figure 8, they usually use kicks. Okie dokes. Alrighty. So I'll just bring these up to the camera just by hand. It's not really too much to see. Okay, so you can see got key pins, silver nickel, with a bit of a taper on them. The drivers have a little bit more of a taper on them, so can be a little bit tricky to pick, or they are actually tricky to pick. I'd rather pick spools than these, to be honest. But yeah, you can see the balance stack there. It's not perfectly balanced, but it's pretty nice, as you can see there. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. That was a 234/45. On the next video, I'll be going into the 234B45 and all its variants from there. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.